Dear devotees, we are almost in the last section of our 15th chapter now. 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, which is called as Purushottam Yoga. And 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita begins with a description of a very special tree. And this tree that is called as Ashwattha tree. Ashwattha tree means that a tree which will not exist tomorrow. And this entire description of 15th chapter, Purushottam Yoga, is meant for two things. How to go from material world to spiritual world, and that is possible by detachment and surrender. So Krishna in the initially started with a discussion about how material world is a upside down tree, and the branches, the different branches are the different planets. The three modes are watering twigs are the sense objects, and the secondary roots are the fruitive activities. Karma, the different fruitive dharma, artha, kama, moksha, and other different. And this tree exists on the desire. So there is a water. The water is compared to desire. This tree is existing only because of our desire. And we discussed about how a devotee should cultivate appropriate spiritual desires. Because it is desires only that is creating this tree. It is desires only because of which we are in the material world. So lot has to be done about cultivating appropriate desires. So in the third shloka, Krishna spoke about one should cut this dridena chitva. One should cut this tree of material world with acts of detachment and surrender. So we require acts of detachment and surrender, and it can be sharpened. This axe can be sharpened by discrimination. So if we cut down this material tree, then we take a step towards attaining spiritual world. Now, the discussion starts from seventh verse onwards. Why do living entities are changing the bodies? What is the reason? Why living entities are changing so many bodies? They are transmigrating. So he said Jiva is a part and parcel of Krishna. But Jiva is struggling in this world due to five senses. And main sense organ which is causing trouble for the Jiva is mind. Prakriti sthani karshati. And that is the reason the Jiva is changing so many material bodies. So he said, first of all, intelligent living being should see that he's changing so many bodies. He's transmigrating from one body to another. So then there is a discussion about who is able to see the change of bodies and who cannot see. So I said, foolish person cannot see. But one who's intelligent, he can see that he's changing body at every moment. So then to Krishna speaks about some solution part. He said, if you really are struggling in this one, you are karshati, there is a karshan in your life. There is a need of a peace in your life. Then to get peace in your life, one has to understand that I am the proprietor, I am the enjoyer, I am the maintainer, I am the controller. So Krishna spoke about how he is the maintainer of this world. And there were some shlokas which came about how Krishna is maintainer at the universal level in the form of sunlight and moonlight and adding juice to the fruits. Then he is even at personal level. Krishna is our maintainer by becoming the fire of digestion and sitting as a Paramatma in the heart, Sarvasachaham, Hridhi Sannivishto, giving us remembrance, forgetfulness, and knowledge. And now comes the conclusion. Krishna again says, if you understand that I am the maintainer of this world, so what is the summary of all the Vedas and Vedanta he speaks? So he said, what is the summary of all the Vedas and Vedanta put together? So that comes in the last section of Bhagavad Gita in this 15th chapter, where Krishna speaks about if somebody understands his three shlokas, then he understands entire Bhagavad Gita. So he said, what are the three stages of knowing? Sambandha Jnana, Abhideya, and Prayojan. So in the 16th shloka, Krishna spoke about Shara and Akshara, that there are two kinds of living entities. Some are called like Kshara, those who are fallible, those who are in material world, they are Nitya Baddha. Akshara, they are Nitya Siddha, they are they are in spiritual world or they are liberated beings. Even in the material world, they are pure devotees of the Lord. They are called as Akshara. And beyond this Akshara and Akshara, there is Paramatma. And Paramatma is not neither Akshara, neither Akshara. He's a special. He's beyond. And Krishna says, 18th, actually Paramatma also comes from me only. Paramatma, the basis of Paramatma is myself. So basically, I am only that. So he said, Lord Krishna says, Purushottama. I am that Purushottama, who is even Paramatma. And then 19 and 20 shlokas speak about that Abhideha. So those people who have understood this knowledge very properly, they will take only shelter of Krishna. They will not run towards any other path. They will neither go for Karma Yoga, Jnana Yoga, no other yoga, no other method they will adopt for their purification. They will adopt only devotional service. So 19th shloka speaks about how devotional service is the only means. And the 20th shloka will give the result, prayojan. If one faithfully continues with the devotional service lifelong, then what is the result? It is said, he is surely going to attain Krishna Prem. So we find in the 11th canto Srimad Bhagavatam also, this discussion comes from Uddhava and Krishna in the discussion. So he said, "Sa- this entire knowledge of Bhagavatam is to develop sufficient faith for us on the process of devotional service. That it is devotional service only and no other means that a devotee and sadhaka requires. We don't have to try adopt any other special means for detachment. Like sometimes, as a devotee, the biggest struggle comes is with struggle of the senses and the struggle of the mind and the struggle of the nirtas, which poses so many difficult problems. And then devotees may adopt some different means. Sometimes devotees start doing fasting. Sometimes devotees start going to astrologer to check whether I'm what I'm supposed to do, what I'm not supposed to do. Sometimes devotees may do different means. And if necessary, if recommended, that can be helpful. But we have to know that our ultimate shelter is process of bhakti yoga. Krishna promises Uddhava in a very beautiful manner. He says something like a Pichit Sudaracharo, Jata Shraddha, Mat Kathasu Jata Shraddha. He speaks about that even if after coming to devotional service, a devotee is sometimes seen to be engaging in sense gratification, but he sincerely repents for it. He sincerely laments for it. Actually, he is not much interested. He is disgusted with it. But due to his past bad habits, due to his past sinful life, and due to his weakness of heart, he is not able to give up the desire for sense gratification. But still, Krishna says this devotee doesn't give up bhakti. This devotee, he says, whatever reactions I'm supposed to get, I may not go back home, back to Godhead, no problem. I may have to suffer heavily for the punishments for this, my whatever activities I'm doing. But still, I don't want to give up devotional service, the chance which I have got. So he tightly holds to the lotus feet of the Lord. And Krishna says, such devotee also becomes quickly purified, and one should not find fault with him. So, very hope giving verse. In case some of you have not read, you can read what is the verse number that is? 11, 11, 27, 11, 20, 27. 11.20, 27, 28. Very hope giving verses. So, though in case you are feeling some discouragement in your life and you feel you have been overpowered by sometimes difficulties, please read this verse. I am writing in the chat box. This will be a very hope giving verse. This is written by Gopi Paranadhan Prabhu, disciples of Prabhupada. 11, 20, 27, 28. Super hope giving verse. So, in case you have not read, please go through this verse. And this will be surely very hope giving. Because entire process of bhakti is a process of hope. No one is hopeless. Everyone has hope. Only thing is, we have to stick to devotional service. So coming to the 19th chapter now, a 19th shloka and 28th shloka. What is this process of devotional service? So we'll start with this, and in between, then we'll have some quiz also. Hmm? So coming to the 19th shloka. Yasmat sharam atitoham aksharadapi chottamah atosmi loke vede cha pratit pratita purushottama. So in the 18th shloka, in the 17th shloka, he spoke about that there is a super soul beyond all this Shara and Akshara. And now in the 19th shloka, he is going to speak about in the in this shloka, he's going to speak about I am that means I am celebrated both in the world and Vedas as that supreme person. 18th shloka. Yes, bro. Please read.
Mohan Sakha Prabhu. Mayuresh Prabhu.
Because I am transcendental, beyond both the fallible and the infallible. And because I am the greatest, I am celebrated both in the world and in the Vedas as the supreme person. Purport. No one can surpass the supreme personality of Godhead, Krishna. Neither the conditioned soul nor the liberated soul is therefore is the greatest of personalities. It is clear here that the living entity and the supreme personality of Godhead are individuals. The difference is that the living entity is either in the conditioned state of or in the liberated state cannot surpass in quantity in the in quantity the inconceivable potency of the supreme personality of Godhead. It is incorrect to think of the Supreme Lord and the living entity as being on the same level or equal in all respects. There is always the question of superiority and inferiority between their personalities. The word Uttama is very significant. No one can surpass the Supreme Personality of Godhead. The word Loke signifies in the Paurusha Agama, the Smriti scripture, as confirmed in the Nirukti dictionary, Lokayate Vedartho Nena. The purpose of Vedas is explained by the Shruti. Scripture. The Supreme Lord, in his localized aspect of Paramatma, is also described in the Vedas themselves. The following verse appears in Vedas, Chandogya Upanishad 8.12.3. तावत् एषा संप्रसदो स्मज चरित समुत्तय परम ज्योति रूपम संपद्य स्वेन रूपेण विनिशपदयते स उत्तमः पुरुषः. The super soul coming out of the body enters the impersonal Brahma Jyoti. Then in his form he remains in spiritual identity. That supreme is called the supreme personality. This means that supreme personality is exhibiting the diffusing his spiritual effulgence, which is the unlimited illumination. That supreme personality also has a localized aspect as Paramatma, by incarnation himself as the son of Satyavati and Parashara. Explained, he explains the Vedic knowledge as Vyasdev.
Yes, bro. So basically, the title for the shloka we can give as that Krishna is the only super soul. Krishna himself is the super soul. We can give the title for the shloka because he's saying here, I am that supreme soul. That is who is celebrated in the world and in the Vedas as supreme person. So all the Dhyan yogis and all the yogis and jnanis, they are after super soul, super soul, super soul, finding the super soul in the heart. And Krishna declares here, I am that supreme soul, I am that super soul, whom Vedas are glorifying, whom people are trying to find out, whom biggest yogis are trying to search out in their heart with all this tapasya. Krishna says, I am that super soul. So he said, I am transcendental and I am beyond fallible and infallible. So don't consider me to be any kind of a very liberated devotee or struggling devotee. I am the greatest. Krishna explained his position here. So because here we understand why this entire knowledge is called as Sambandha Gnan. So what is exactly Sambandha Gnan? Sambandha Gnan means let's consider an example. Hmm. Let me frame out one example so that we can understand why this Sambandha Gnan knowledge is very, very important. Any one of you here from a military background? Any one of you from who have some touch of military background, either school or NCC or something, or you can raise your hand, or some school you studied, or okay, Chandra Bhushan Prabhu and Rasik Raj Prabhu, Abhishek Prabhu. Okay, Chandra Bhushan Prabhu. Now, suppose you had some NCC background, or what exactly you had?
Actually, my father is in army and I studied in army college.
Okay, wonderful. So now, Chandra Bhushan Prabhu is a very wonderful devotee and he's practicing very sincerely and everything. Now, suppose today's Chandra Bhushan Prabhuji, he identifies that he has been told that because of his parents' devotion to military and government and all, Chandra Bhushan Prabhu is immediately given a position of becoming general. I don't know what are the military post, general or lieutenant in military, free of cost. Means without any endeavor, he is promoted to this position now. That you are lieutenant now, and you will be given a special position to lead our group of people and all this. So now immediately you want to see what all thoughts will come out, what all thoughts will keep on coming now. Suppose you identify yourself as a lieutenant or a commander. So Chandrabhushan Prabhu, what all different things and thoughts will come in your life?
Guruji, then I will be first. I will be happy, and I will be thinking that I will have to control so many soldiers to give the order. First of proud will come, and I
Okay,
will
okay.
identify
And
with the
forget about the fraud and all. What are the activities you will be doing? Let's say.
activities. I will learn the thing how to give the army thing. I have to learn.
So you'll be guiding, you'll be making plan how to protect India and what all
Yes,
things to be done, training, a march post, and so I don't know what all things happen in the army. I don't have much experience, but so many different marches and this and trainings and fightings and so different things it will follow. So now just imagine, as soon as you identify yourself with some upadhi, rest follows. If you identify yourself as you are a military person, then immediately the mind starts contemplating about military and plans and military and all this different things. So this is an identification. Now, as soon as somebody gets married, now he has got an identification. Oh, I'm husband now. And immediately, now I have to worry for my wife and children and this home. I have to secure this. So as soon as you get some position, as soon as you place yourself on some particular position, then he starts planning and thinking and about this. So just see, upadhis. Upadhis, they play a very big role in our life. Now, similarly, now somebody says, I want to join as a brahmachari. He has just got this upadhi till now his life. He has not joined also. He has not even joined ashram, nothing. He has not even qualified, nothing. As soon as he identifies, then he starts thinking in that way. Oh, I have to make plan for this. He will make endeavor, save money, this, do that. He will not take sweets and so many tapasyas he will do here, there because he wants to remain as a good brahmachari. So see, upadhis, they play such a role. Like sometimes somebody is posted as a president of a Lions Club or Rotary Club, and immediately he feels that, oh, I'm a Lions Club, I'm also lion now, big lion. I have to manage many big lions, and then he starts working on that direction. So everything follows the upadhis. As soon as you give a person upadhi, he starts working on those upadhis. Like that's why in college clubs and all, sometimes I see how do people work so hard even if they don't get any name, they don't get much money and all. Somebody just made secretary for some club tomorrow and immediately starts get some special power. I'm a secretary, I'm a president, and he starts working on it. So here we find upadhis, they play a very big role in our life. Because what do we identify ourselves with? So here, Sambandha Gnan, and that is only Sambandha Gnan. What do we identify ourselves with? If we identify ourselves with this material body, then we consider material body to be satisfying the needs of material body only to be the goal and substance of whole life. But we identify ourselves as spirit soul, part and parcel of Krishna, then we start working to fulfill its needs. So now Mayavadis, they start thinking that we are spirit soul and we'll become God. So everything is about our identification. And when this Sambandha Jnana becomes clear, then all many like weakness of heart, Hridaya Daurbalyam, and many things will automatically go away. And that's why currently, like if you see in the Sanatan Goswami's teaching, he says that currently we are attracted by Cupid. Currently, Kamdev produces lot of difficulties for every struggling person, every struggling sadhaka. And that's why, what is the Sambandha deity for us? Sambandha deity is Radha Madan Mohan. So Madan Mohan, he enchants our minds and senses. And he situates us on the right Sambandha Gnan. And when the Sambandha Gnan, oh, you can just close the window for. When the Sambandha Gnan is very properly established, then a person acts in a proper direction. So that's why here it is said we have to strengthen our Sambandha Gnan. We have to strengthen our Sambandha Gnan. We have to solidify Sambandha Gnan. And how do we solidify Sambandha Gnan? By especially serving Madan Mohan or serving the deities. Like serving the deities is considered to be one of the very powerful means of Sambandha Gnan. Getting right philosophical knowledge, that also establishes our Sambandha. And when Sambandha is established, then person starts serving and everything automatically follows. Like we worry about a person whom we have Sambandha. We wish birthday to people, those whom we have Sambandha. We do not wish anyone and everyone. So Sambandha Jnana is established, then people automatically do Abhideha and they attain Prayojan. So lot of efforts are to be put on strengthening our Sambandha. And that's why this so much discussion is given in Bhagavad Gita to solidify our Sambandha Jnana, that understand Krishna's position, understand the greatness of the Lord, establish Sambandha with him. So here, Krishna is telling, I am the supreme super soul. I am greatest one. And everyone wants to establish connection with the greatest person in the world. And Krishna is promising, I am that greatest person. Everyone wants to establish connection with someone who will never fail in his life. Krishna says, I am Achyuta. I am infallible. Establish connection with me. So much information is given that you do not establish connection with the people in the material world because they are Akshara. They are going to die soon. And Akshara people are good, but I am a Purushottama. I am beyond even Akshara. So he says, so in this purport especially, uh, some references are given from Chandogya Upanishad and all that. And what is meaning of word Loke and Uttama. So here starts Sambandha Jnana. So 16, 17, 18 establishes our Sambandha. That who are we and what is position of God. Now 19 Shloka. So what is the link between 18 Shloka and 19 Shloka? Now let's say somebody has established the Sambandha Jnana very properly. Then what are the activities which he is going to do? Like somebody has understood that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead properly now. So what all are the activities which we'll be doing? So he said, 19 Shloka says, one who has got freed from the doubt, he has no doubt now that Krishna is Paramatma. Such a person will automatically engage in full devotional service of me, Krishna says. So if we are not able to give we are not able to give full engagement in the devotional service, we are not able to give our heart to practicing activities. That means still our that knowledge, bhakti gnan, not the gnan, bhakti gnan about position of Lord, about position of us is still lacking. Because Krishna is promising here that if Sambandha has become very strong, then naturally person would like to do Abhideha. So here 19 Shloka speaks about that one engages in full devotional service to me if somebody has attained this knowledge. So 19 Shloka. यो मामेवम् असम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत यो मामेवमसम्मूढो जानाति पुरुषोत्तमं स सर्वविद् भजति मां सर्वभावेन भारत. Yomam eva sammudho. Asammudho. He says without a doubt. Asammudha. Without a doubt. Janati Purushottama. So somebody has understood Asammudho Purushottama. Somebody has understood Purushottama without doubt. Sarvavid bhajati mam sarva bhavena bharata. Yes, Prabhuji, please read.
Mridul Krishna Prabhuji.
Translation: whoever knows me as the Supreme Personality of Godhead without doubting is knower of everything. He therefore engages himself in full devotional service to me, O son of Bharata. Purport. There are many philosophical speculation about the constitutional position of living entities and the supreme absolute truth. Now, in this verse, Supreme Personality of Godhead clearly explains that anyone who knows Lord Krishna to be Supreme Person is actually the knower of everything. The imperfect knower goes on simply speculating about the absolute truth, but perfect knower, without wasting his valuable time, engages directly in Krishna consciousness, the devotional service of Supreme Lord. Um, Throughout the whole of Bhagavad Gita, this fact is being traced at every step. And still, there is so many stubborn commentators on Bhagavad Gita who consider the supreme absolute truth and the living entities to be one and the same. The Vedic knowledge is called Shruti, learning by oral reception. Um, One should actually receive the Vedic knowledge, Vedic message from authorities like Krishna and his representatives. Here, Krishna disguises everything. Distinguishes um, everything very nicely, and one should hear from this source. Simply to hear like hogs is not sufficient. One must be able to understand from authorities. It is not that one should simply speculate academically. One should submissively hear from Bhagavad Gita that these living entities are always subordinate to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and anyone who is able to understand this according to the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna knows the purpose of Vedas, and no one else knows the purpose of Vedas. The word bhajati is very significant. In many places, the word bhajati is expressed in a relationship with the service of Supreme Lord. If a person is engaged in full Krishna consciousness in devotional service of the Lord, it is to be understood that he has understood all the Vedic knowledge. In the Vaishnava Parampara, it is said that if one is engaged in the devotional service of Krishna, then there is no need for any other spiritual processes for the understanding of supreme absolute truth. He has already come to the point because he is engaged in devotional service of the Lord. He has ended all preliminary processes of understanding. But if anyone, after speculating for hundreds and thousands of lives, does not come to the point that Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and that one has to surrender there, all his speculation for so many years and lives is useless waste of time.
So Prabhupada is saying repeatedly this stress is given. Repeatedly this stress is given here. So I said we don't need to speculate. So there are two kinds of knower which are mentioned. Perfect knower of Vedas and imperfect knower of Vedas. So the perfect knower of Vedas engages in Krishna consciousness without speculation, and he clearly knows Krishna as the supreme person. An imperfect knower, he goes on speculating about the absolute truth, and he does not surrender, and he simply wastes the time. So Prabhupada is again stressing, don't need to speculate. Hear submissively. And he said that's why Vedic knowledge is called as Shruti. Vedic knowledge is not learned by speculation. Vedic knowledge is learned by oral reception. But there is a quality to this oral reception. The Vedic knowledge doesn't come like this. It requires submission. Vedic message, he said, it requires submission. Prabhupada is telling now how to hear the Shastras. How do we improve our hearing? So he said, do not hear simply mechanically like hogs. Prabhupada using simply hearing like hogs is not sufficient. So one should not simply speculate also. Don't even academically study this many shlokas and this and that and this, and too much academic study is also not good. He said submissively hear from authorities. Submissively hear from Bhagavad Gita. And submission means service. That's why it is said, na tad vidhi pranipatena pariprashnena sevaya upadekshanti te jnanam. So sometimes devotees take different routes. Sometimes devotee gets a mood of he goes into the mood of sadhana. He becomes sadhana. So much sadhana oriented. He just reads, hears, reads. And in one way, that is also seva only. Reading, hearing is also seva if he has right consciousness. But generally, Shastras, they become very good. We can understand Shastras very well when we submit to some Vaishnava, some great devotee of Lord, and render some service unto him. So if this process, rendering service, submission, and inquiries, they go hand in hand, then the message is digested very well. Otherwise, one simply keeps on reading himself for years together. Someone simply keeps on reading. But without the guidance of Vaishnava, without service to the Vaishnavas, then it will not be complete knowledge. There will be something lacking in his life. So our service, our reading, hearing should also accompany our seva. That's why there is one very beautiful lecture by Radhanath Swami Maharaj. No realization without service. So he said the message of Bhagavatam we realize this message when we render seva. So submissively hear Gita and render some seva. And he said this is the way of hearing. And in the last section of purport, Prabhupada mentions here the importance of word bhajati. Bhajati. Bhajati word is used many places. So he said, no, there is no need of practicing any other spiritual process. He said, one can speculate for even hundreds of life, but it is simply waste of time if one doesn't come to the right conclusion. So he said, Bhajati Mam. Then which all shlokas you find Bhajati, Bhajate, which all shlokas in Bhagavad Gita you have found Bhajati word, Bhaja word, and Bhajate word? Any different method shlokas you remember? If you know, you can raise your hand. You can speak.
Aham sir.
Aham sarvasva prabhavo matta sarvam pravartate iti
Iti matva
matva
bhajate mam.
bhajante mam. Very good. Hari bol, sadhu. Any other shloka? Bhaja.
तेषां सततयुक्तानां भजतां प्रीतिपूर्वकम्.
Hari bol, bhajatam priti purvakam. Very good. Yes, Shekhar.
अपि चेत् दुराचारो भजते माम् अनन्यः।
Hari bol, bhajate aa gaya. Any other shloka? Bhaja. Yesham tu antagatam papam jananam punyakarmanam te dvandva mohanirmukta. हाँ ठीक है, थोड़ा आपने कट मिस कर दिया भजन. ओके, एनी अदर? अक्षय प्रभु. यस प्रभु जी.
योगिनामपि सर्वेषां मद्गतेऽन्तरात्मनां श्रद्धावान् भजन्ते माम्।
हरि वो. एनी अदर श्लोका? एनीवन रिमेंबर्स? भज. यस रसिक राज प्रभु जी.
ये यथा मां प्रपद्यन्ते तां तथैव भजामि.
Bhajami. Okay, very good. Amazing. So if you do Veda based search of this word bhaja, you can do sometimes homework. So many times one particular word is coming. Bhaja, 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 bhaja. Then what is the purpose of Gita? Bhaja. So many times it is said, Bhaja, serve me, serve me. So one can come to the right conclusion that the purpose of entire conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is engage in Krishna consciousness. No need of any other spiritual process. Do bhajan. Bhajati, worship me. Manmana bhava man bhakto madhya jiva means that. That is the conclusion. So render service to me. So now we come to the 20th shloka. And this verse is summarizing the entire 15th chapter. And he said, the essence of Veda, what is the result of understanding all this knowledge of which is given in the 15th chapter? So he said such a person will become wise, all his endeavors will become perfect, and he will become sinless. So this is the result. So this is like a prayojan. So 20th shloka is speaking about prayojan. Abhideha is 19th shloka. And 16, 17, 18, this three group of shlokas are called as Sambandha Gnan. So, okay, just a quick question for all of you. All of us are like Gaudiya Vaishnavas. So what is the Sambandha Gnan? What is our philosophy? Sambandha Gnan. What is the philosophy of Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya in regards to Sambandha Gnan? What is our position and what is Krishna's position? And are we God or not God? Or can we become God and not God? So there is what word we can use to explain the philosophy of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu? Yes, Asim Prabha Prabhu.
In one word we say Achintya Bheda Bhed. We are in quality wise we are same with God, but quantity wise we are different. And our Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Ekaleswar Krishna Arsam Bhritya, and Jivara Swarupa hai Krishna Nityadas.
Yeah. Gopi Parutapada Kamalo, Das, Dasanu Das. Okay, Prabhu is mentioning. Fine. And what is Abhideha for us? Okay.
Devotion service, Radham Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam.
That is Abhideha for us. Yeah. And what is Prayojan for us?
Devotional service.
Okay.
Prem.
Which shloka? Any shloka you remember for Prem? Yes, Karthik Prabhu.
Prabhu hui anyway মানে ব্রহ্ম সমিতা প্রেমাঞ্জন ছরিত ভক্তি বলে
Okay. Fine. So Prem.
This is Shastakam was Asleshava Partata.
My God. That is also very big prayojan for us. A tough prayojan to follow. Generally, all of us don't want to that. Embrace me, but don't kick me out. Embrace me, but don't kick me out. Very tough little prayer. Yeah, surely. So the 20th shloka is going to speak about the prayojan. That is what a result one will attain after entering this bhakti faithfully. 20th shloka. Yes, bro. इति गुह्यतमं शास्त्रम् इदम् उक्तं मया नघ इदम् उक्तं मया नघ एतद् बुद्ध्वा बुद्धिमान् स्यात् कृतकृत्यश्च भारत मया अनघ. So iti guhyatamam. This knowledge is guhyatamam. Tamam. That is the most confidential knowledge. Uttama. The meaning of word uttama means tama. Tama means darkness. Ut. Beyond darkness. And beyond darkness. That is illuminated knowledge. And that is guhya uttamam. So it is said iti guhyatamam shastram. Idam uktvam. So I have disclosed this knowledge to you, Arjuna. Anagha. So Arjuna is also addressed here as Anagha. Anagha, O sinless one, by me, Anagha. And etat, knowing this, Buddhiman Shat, one becomes Krita Kritasya Bharata. Yes, Prabhu.
Shrikar Prabhu.
This is the most confidential part of Vedic scripture, O sinless one, and it is disclosed now by me. Whoever understands this will become wise, and his endeavors will know perfection. Purport. The Lord clearly explains here that this is substance of all revealed scriptures, and one should understand this as it is given by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Thus, one will become intelligent and perfect in transcendental knowledge. In other words, by understanding this philosophy of Supreme Personality of Godhead and engaging in the transcendental service, everyone can become freed from all contamination of the modes of material nature. Devotional service is the process of spiritual understanding wherever devotional service exists. The material contamination cannot coexist. Devotional service to the Lord and the Lord Himself are one and the same because they are spiritual. Devotional service takes place within the internal energy of Supreme Lord. The Lord is said to be the sun, and ignorance is called darkness. Where the sun is present, there is no question of darkness. Therefore, whenever devotional service is present under the proper guidance of bona fide spiritual master, there is no question of ignorance. Everyone must take to this consciousness of Krishna and engage in devotional service to become intelligent and purified. Unless one becomes to this position of understanding Krishna and engages in devotional service, however intelligent he may be in estimation of some common man, he is not perfectly intelligent. The word Anga by which Arjuna is addressed is significant. Anagha, O sinless one, means that unless one is free from all sinful reaction, it is very difficult to understand Krishna. One has to become free from all contamination, all sinful activities. Then he can understand. But devotional service is so pure and potent that once one is engaged in devotional service, he automatically comes to the stage of sinlessness. While one is performing devotional service in association of pure devotee in full Krishna consciousness, there, there are certain things which require to be vanquished altogether. The most important thing one has to surmount is weakness of the heart. The first fall down is caused by the desire to lord it over material nature. Thus, one gives up the transcendental loving service of the Lord. The second weakness of heart is that as one increases the propensity to lord it over material nature, he becomes attached to matter and possession of matter. The problem of material existence are due to these weaknesses of the heart. In this chapter, the first 5 verses describe the process of freeing oneself from these weaknesses of heart, and the rest of the chapter from 6 verse through the end discuss Purushottam Yoga.
Amazing. So Prabhupada is telling the problems of material existence are due to this weakness of heart. The problems of this material existence are due to this weakness of heart. So in this shloka, first of all, Krishna said about how to understand this knowledge. So how to understand this knowledge? Understand as it is given by Supreme Personality of Godhead, that is given by me. And then he gives the result. What is the result of getting this knowledge? One will become intelligent and perfect in the transcendental knowledge. He will become freed from all contaminations of material modes. An analogy were given like a sun. Ignorance is darkness and there is a sun. So he said, render seva under the proper guidance of spiritual master. What is that shloka? Prema bhakti jahan hoite avidya vinasha jate. So as soon as prema bhakti comes, avidya goes away. So this is like so in Guru Puja and all songs, we very clearly given to us, all of us. Prema bhakti jahan hoite avidya vinasha jate. So the entire sections of the Bhagavad Gita 13 to 18 is meant for removing avidya only. And in Guru Puja we clearly say, Prema Bhakti Jaha Hoite and Shri Guru Charana Padma Kevala Bhakti Sadma. So render service under the guidance of spiritual master. So then comes the word Anagha. Arjuna is addressed as sinless one. So it is said, unless one is free from all sinful reaction, it is generally very difficult to understand Krishna. So what is the hope? I am so much having, my life is so sinful. So what is the hope for me? So do not worry. Devotional service is very pure. Keep on rendering devotional service. Automatically, you will come to the stage of sinlessness. And most important thing that one should surmount the practice of devotional service is weakness of heart. And these things are being mentioned. So with this comes the conclusion of 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. And so we started our journey from 13th chapter. So what was the title for 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? In Sanskrit, somebody can say, what is the third Sanskrit name for 13th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? You can even,
Kshetra
yes, bro, Kshetra.
Kshetragya Vibhag Yoga.
Very good, Hari Bol. So Kshetra, Kshetragnya, Vibhaga Yoga. So we started our journey with the 13th chapter, and the discussion came about this entire 13th chapter. What is this 13th chapter? Because till now, in 12th chapter, we discussed about Bhakti Yoga. So Arjuna basically in the 13th chapter asked 6 questions. What are the 6 questions? So he asked about Prakriti, Purusha, Kshetra, Kshetragnya, Jnanam, and Gneyam. So Arjuna started with the 6 questions. An entire 13th chapter discusses about answers given by Krishna about Kshetra, Kshetragnya, Jnanam. So Krishna elaborates on what is Jnanam, what is Gneyam, and what is Prakriti, what is Purusha. So all these answers were given. So I'm just telling this summary so that we can briefly understand what is there where. So 13th chapter, all the 6 questions by Arjuna, Kshetra, Kshetragnya, Jnanam, Gneyam, and then Krishna answers those questions about Kshetra, Kshetragnya, Prakriti, Purusha, Super Soul is a real Purusha, and the importance of developing Jnana Chakshu at the last. That how there is a need of a Jnana Chakshu. So this was the 35 shlokas were there in the 13th chapter, and the last part dealt with the Jnana Chakshu. So Jnana is very important to understand this technically. Kshetra, Kshetragnya, Prakriti, Purusha, and all these answers were given in the 13th chapter. And such a person, Sama Sarveshu Bhuteshu, and all these important shlokas, they come there. So the 13th chapter, it ended with the Falashruti also, that those who develop eyes of knowledge, they start liberation from the bondage in the material nature. Then again, 14th chapter starts with the three. What is the name of 14th chapter? Sanskrit name for 14th chapter? Anyone knows what is Sanskrit name for 14th chapter of Bhagavad Gita? 14th chapter is dealing with the 3 modes of material nature. So that was
Gunatraya
Gunatraya Vibhag Yoga.
Which Vibhag Yoga?
Gunatraya.
Gunetra.
Yeah, Guna Vibhag or Gunatraya Vibhag Yoga. So three modes of nature and their Vibhag, their understanding. So there were total 27 shlokas in 14th chapter, 35 shloka in 13th chapter, 27 shloka in the 14th chapter. An entire chapter begins with how a soul is conditioned by 3 modes of nature. So again, this is a practice of Krishna, that before he starts speaking, he glorifies the knowledge which he is giving. So how Jiva comes in contact with matter, how material modes bind the pure Jiva, how there is a competition among the 3 modes, what is the result of dying in particular mode, what is the result of action in the 3 modes, and last section again deals with on the 10 shloka, 10 shlokas deal with transcending the modes, how to become Gunatita. So at last, Arjuna also asked 3 questions about Gunatita, that what is the symptom of a Gunatit person and what is the behavior of a Gunatit person, and answer Krishna gives, only by pure bhakti one can become Gunatita. So if you see again, this is Jnana, but this Jnana is Bhakti Jnana. Sometimes we understand the conclusion of Bhagavad Gita is a Jnana Yoga. No, this Jnana is there to glorify Bhakti Jnana, to glorify Bhakti. So all Jnana which is coming in the last 6 chapters of Gita, that is only glorifying what came before, that is Bhakti. So that's why this is called as, and in the 14th chapter ended about attaining the platform of Brahman, how one should come to the platform of Brahman. And Krishna said, I am the basis of Brahman. I am only that basis of Brahman. And now 15th chapter begins with Brahman. Brahman means in the 15th chapter, there is a description of the tree which we discussed, and that originates from Brahma Loka and all. So basically, how to now go from material world to spiritual world. That was a discussion of 15th chapter of Gita. So thus we conclude, I think, discussion of this 15th chapter. So we have a Prabhu, shall we take quiz on the WhatsApp? If I can circulate the link on WhatsApp, or shall we take now only?
Whatever suits Guruji. We still have some time, so in case it is
We can take
can
some
fit in that.
questions.
Yeah, we can take some questions also, Guruji. Quiz we can maybe
No, I can circulate on WhatsApp. Devotees
circulate.
can answer.
Yes, if devotees have questions, they can ask.
Okay, so thank you very much. So very, very grateful to all the devotees for being with us. And I know means generally online teaching is a very difficult teaching because all are connected to some different frequencies. Especially mind is the three modes, like there is a competition among three modes. And during online classes, it becomes a very heavy competition. Some modes are pulling, like especially many of you are working devotees. And when I go to the voice, I see the life of working devotees. One body is attending Bhakti Shastri class. There is another anxiety which is there. Company bus, I have bus we have to catch, dabba we have to get ready, and many other heavy competition among the mind with the three modes. But despite of that, many of you are continuing since so long and attending this Bhakti Shastri course. So very grateful to you. So, and kindly forgive any, what we say, improper knowledge which was given or some mistakes which I might have committed, because I'm also learning. I'm also struggling. Karshati, I'm also struggling. So the knowledge is imperfect, but we try to repeat something from Acharyas and something from Srila Prabhupada's teachings, and especially whatever Radhesham Prabhu has given. So based on that, try to speak. So, but shloka memorization is a habit which will give us very better understanding. So try to recite some shlokas, memorize shlokas on regular basis, and this will give very good understanding of Bhagavad Gita. So actually, this is just a glance. The more you read Bhagavad Gita, you understand. I never understood Bhagavad Gita before. So even I am feeling after teaching, are so many things I learned for the first time. Now I said, are 3 times I have already done, 3, 4 times book reading is done, teaching is done, but I'm feeling this I never knew before. So this is the beauty of Bhagavad Gita. So Bhakti Shastri, although we may get title of being Bhakti Shastri, but I guess I think this is just a beginning. It's just a beginning to glance what is there in Bhagavad Gita. The more you go deeper, more you teach, and then more we understand. So kindly pray for me. This is a sincere request to all the Vaishnavas. So kindly pray for me that speaking is very, very easy. Speaking about three modes of material nature, speaking about soul and super soul difference, speaking about detachment, very easy to say, but very difficult when the Mahaprasadam plate comes immediately in front of us. All these three chapters go away behind, and we forget, we are overcome by modes. So kindly pray for me, and I really wish you all the best for your other remaining journey of Bhakti Shastri. So now I think 3 more chapters are remaining in Bhagavad Gita, and that may take about, I think, 2 more months. It may take about 2 and 2.5 months. Bigger chapters, quite big chapters. So this will be taken by His Grace Tashrat Priya Prabhu. Hari Bol. So all devotees can switch on their cameras, and we can just have a group photo, and then we can switch off for today. Shantanu Guru can take group photo. All over there.
Yes, Guruji.
So still we have Nayan Prabhu, Himanshu Prabhu, Aniruddha Prabhu, and Gautam Prabhu, and Ashish Prabhu, and Aditya Tepalwar Prabhu. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्यः च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
वैष्णवेभ्यो
नमो नमः।
अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय। श्री
Jai.
राम की जय।
Jai. Thank you very much, Prabhuji, for guiding so nicely to all of us for these 3 chapters. Very amazing. Thank you. Thank you very much. On behalf of all devotees, we will have one Hari Bol for Prabhuji. 3 Hari Bols for Prabhuji for guiding us so nicely on these 3 chapters. Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you very much, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
I will circulate to Shantanu Prabhu on WhatsApp.
Yes, Prabhuji.
Yes.